Hi guys, my name is Chinor Reed and we're going to talk about the lore and the history of Washington Square Park and why is it haunted. And while I'm doing my makeup, I might go out today. We'll see. So history lesson. Back in the 1600s, New York City used to belong to the Lenape Indian tribe. In 1624, the Dutch came and invaded the Lenape Indians' lands and drove them out. They drove the Lenape Indians away. They turned the place into farmland. After that, free slaves were in that area, and I believe they called them Little Africa because they would put all the free slaves in that area. And already there's going to be a lot of emotion there because of what everybody has been going through due to what the Dutch people have been putting them through. So already you could tell that there's going to be a lot of emotion in that plot of land already, because you got the free slaves, they've been through so much crap, and you got the Lenape Indians who were driven out of their land. So already that place is full of emotion and just full of negative energy because of all the negative stuff that already happened on that plot of land. 1997 is purchased by New York Common Council. And for that, they would execute people on that land by hanging them. Got so many people getting hanged due to some of the times innocent crimes. I'm not saying all of them were innocent crimes, but sometimes it could be for the least little thing, because we're talking about, we're talking back in the 1700s. You could literally get executed for being a witch. So yeah, people got executed during that time from prison, and it was some prisoners who were sentenced to death. So they would also get executed by hanging on the trees. I don't know now, I'm baking, so that's why I'm leaving this powder on. We're gonna bake my skin. I know it looks bad right now, but trust the process. Trust that it will come out good. In 1799 to 1860 was when the world turned around and there was a cholera outbreak. Now, cholera is a very nasty disease. So think of it as it's not like COVID, but it has the same effect as how COVID was for us, but it was more worse then because they didn't have a lot of hygiene protocols that we have now. So cholera killed so many people, hundreds of thousands of people, and they would just place the bodies in that park. They wouldn't cremate it because back then a lot of the people there were Christians or Catholics, and they did not believe in cremation. So that's one of the downfalls, I would say, about this. But they did not believe in cremation because the Bible says you're not supposed to get cremated, otherwise you won't resurrect. So a lot of them stood true to their faith, and they did not believe in cremation back then because they think that you wouldn't resurrect and go to heaven. I want to dive more into the whole resurrection thing and religious thing. So I grew up being a devout Catholic. So in my household, I'm not a Catholic anymore. I'm actually a Buddhist. But in my household, we were taught that cremation was actually really bad and we should never be cremated because of what the Bible says, how you're gonna go to hell if you're cremated and stuff like that. I was taught that. So imagine back then, I know some people would judge, but back then, imagine. You didn't have the scientific data that was impossible, and you didn't have all these things that we know now. So we back then would stick to a Bible. I'm not from there, but I'm just saying for the people back then, they didn't know any better because all they knew was the Bible. They didn't know that we don't know what happens after death. No one knows exactly if there is a heaven or hell. They just believed on okay, my pastor said this. So due to that caused already so much disease and so much issues in that plot of land. And now, many years later now, there are spirits roaming around that land. There are people receiving and hearing that they're seeing sightings in that plot of land in Washington Square Park. Well, allegedly, what I'm trying to say is I cannot fucking speak today. So people in NYU allegedly see spirits. Some people, not all, allegedly said that they see spirits of the deceased who committed suicide or died in NYU. university. Someone allegedly said that there's a librarian spirit that you can see roaming throughout the library or in the halls. Allegedly, some people say that. Some people say that they hear books rummaging, hearing book when they're alone in the library, books, pages turning and stuff. So yeah, really depends if the ghost wants you to see them or not. But I'm not done with my makeup look. I did like kind of like a little smoky eye thing going on. Oh, NYU is also allegedly known to being haunted, which is the college that is in the same vicinity as Washington Square Park. People allegedly say that they see spirits of a librarian there, or that they hear rummaging through books in a library. And allegedly the ghosts of the people that pass in NYU are the people who committed suicide, some of the college students who committed suicide. So I find that really sad because in a lot of places, the main suicide rate, the cause of suicide is stress. And in a lot of countries, suicide is caused due to academic stress. And that can kind of play, and I could see why that they would haunt the school, because it's a place that that causes them so much pain, and it's like the area where their last breath was. And I feel like they just want a peaceful life. They wanted a peaceful life. Maybe their parents pushed them into doing something that they did not want to do when they were alive. And sometimes when you don't feel like your mission's solved in the real world, your spirit lingers because you feel like your mission's not done yet. So yeah, that's what I wanted to do today. Talk about a little brief history of Washington Square Park and its hauntings. Cannot speak for the life of me. Tell me if you want me to continue stories like this down in the comments. I'm big into like haunted stuff. I'm big into like witchy, very like occultish stuff. That's just my thing. I do believe in God, but I don't know, I just like the occult. I just like learning about spirits and like murder mysteries and stuff like that. That's just something that always piqued my interest as a kid. Plus, I've always been like pretty sensitive to that shit. So yeah, see you in the next one. Here is the makeup look I finished. I told you, trust the process. I kind of came in with some concealer and some blush and some lip gloss and mascara. And yeah, bye.